Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks Plays Naval Action, and in today's episode we will be checking out on the ship Niagara. Yeah, so Niagara is actually modeled in-game after the USS Niagara, a United States ship built in 1813, and USS Niagara, according to the wiki, was also called the USS Brig Niagara, or the flagship Niagara, which was a wooden-hulled brig that served as a relief flagship for the Oliver Hazard Perry in the Battle of the Lake Erie during the War of 1812. So, So Niagara was one of the last remaining ships from the War of 1812 and is usually docked behind the Erie Maritime Museum in downtown Erie in U.S. state of Pennsylvania. So the Niagara was actually famous for the role it played. It was actually constructed from 1812 to 1813 to protect the American coastline on Lake Erie from the British, and it played a pivotal role in the Battle of the Lake, according to the wiki. Along the most warships that served during the war, it was sunk for preservation on Presque Isle in 1820, and it was raised in 1913 again from the bottom, and it was rebuilt for the centennial of the Battle of the Lake Erie. So after the restoration, it has undergone several restorations, most recent being in 1988. But so much of the original ship was replaced, so it was very unambiguous if it was it's very hard to say whether today it's a replica or is it the real ship, depending on how much percentage of the ship was still left intact. So okay, that's a little bit historical information about the ship. You will be able to see more in the link in the description, which will be the link to the wiki where this information was coming from. And here in Naval Action you can see me sailing the Niagara, and I was fighting a 1 versus 1 battle against a pirate Renommee. This came to as an Admiralty order, and that was, I believe, for the rank up. I think it was for the first lieutenant, I believe, or lieutenant commander. I don't know exactly, don't quote me. But anyway, in this battle I am sailing Niagara, which is equipped with a total of 20, I believe it's 9-pounders long cannons. So I'm actually trying to duke it out with Denise de Leon, which is an NPC pirate captain. A pretty decent one at that. So yes, so a little bit information about Niagara. I mean, I will not go into the details how it compares to the other ships, but I'm just gonna go briefly in terms of how does it sail, etc, etc. So let me just dig up my info. So Niagara is actually very, very fast. It's lightning fast, and it's also a small target, and it is lightning fast and small target because it was built for basically battles of the lake. So it has very low profile, which can be argued whether or not it's actually more or less seaworthy, but more lake-worthy. But still, its low and sleek profile gives it a unique signature, which means that it is actually a small target despite being long, because it's lying so low in the water. So actually it is pretty hard to hit, and when comparing its basically its target cross section, It is almost the smallest cross-section of all. It and Snow have the smallest cross-section of all the fifth rates, or sorry, sixth rates. Also, it packs a very decent armament. It can have either 9-pounder cannons, 9-pounder long cannons, and as I have witnessed as of recently, I will post in a later video when you will see me duking it out with Cerberus. It also can carry a 32-pounder carronades. And I can tell you, in the Niagara, with 32-pounder carronades, it's a beast. It requires you to come very closely to your target, where its armor, although being pretty decent since the update. I mean, before that it was just a glass cannon, so it was downright terrible. But its upgraded armor is actually pretty decent. A little bit worse than I would say, than a Mercury, but still decent. So actually, when it plays now, you actually have a chance to zoom in and be able to fight it out with equal or even stronger ships. So yeah, so as you can see here, I do have my fleet still with me, since this was, I think, before the patch. And after the patch, I don't think you can actually have it at this rank any longer. One thing that is actually the problem with the Niagara, it's actually its terrible turn rate. I mean, it turns as badly as the Renommee. And given the fact that Renommee is a frigate and a fifth-rate ship at that, I mean, you see the problem. But it is also because of its long, sleek figure, so it takes a while until it rotates. If you compare it to the Snow, which is, I believe, a champion in turning, especially for the fifth race or a brig, then you can see that actually it is intended for different fighting style. So fighting style with the Niagara is more like jousting than turning competition. And my experience when sailing with this particular Niagara was that 9-pounder long cannons work pretty decent, but then again, they're nothing great. However, Niagara's unique speed actually makes it pretty good for chasing down trader ships. As I said, because it's lightning fast. And also, I'm using its unique feature, which is basically its low profile when duking it out here with the knees, making sure that the knees cannot hit me that well. Although I think the hit rate of the NPCs in the naval action, at least at this stage, is a little bit overpowered, because I just think they managed to hit too much. But I guess it makes sense, because if they weren't that accurate, then they wouldn't be that challenging at all. So yeah, I'm actually sad to even destroy this beautiful ship. I was thinking about capturing it, but I mean, given it has 273 crew versus my 155, I believe, makes it pretty difficult for me to try and capture it, and I'm not really that experienced in terms of capturing ships either. So yeah, also taking into account the crew count, Niagara is actually pretty decent, sitting at 150 crew, which I would say is somewhere in the mid-range. I think there is one more that has, I think, bigger crew count. Let me just think about it. Or was it Niagara that had the highest crew count? No, actually it was the Niagara that had the highest crew count. The others are with a less. So consider Niagara somewhere in between of the sixth rates and fifth rates. I mean, armor-wise, it's definitely not a fifth rate, nor the armament-wise, but caliber-wise, it can play with the big boys. So, yeah. And as you can see, this is where I'm actually being able to do some damage to the Renome. I finally managed to chase it down, and I'm aware that Renome has some unique features which requires me to really be parallel with it when I'm actually hitting it. Otherwise my cannon balls would simply ricochet off its hull. So it's a pretty longish fight, but still I think the outcome of it is pretty certain, meaning Denise is going to the Davy Jones locker. It's just a matter of having my 2 cutters to help me get her there. And as I can see, Denise is constantly duking it out with my sails, which are currently at 82%, while I'm actually duking it out against her hull. Well, you know, I managed to catch up with it, so it's time to make it go blub 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 blub. Okay. Yeah. So Niagara, as you can see, the turning rate isn't that great, but I'm still being able to outturn a Renome. I mean, if I was trying to fight against snow, this would have been a whole different ball game. So yeah. I'm managing to actually keep on the Renome's stern, and I'm hoping for some raking shots as well. But then again, at this point I'm just trying to reduce its hull as much as possible and just take it down the traditional way. Otherwise, I mean, you could try, if you have like longer cannons, then you could try to do try to hit below the waterline and see if you can get some leaks. But then again, I mean, at this distance and also attacking against the wind, it's not the most practical. By the way, here at the time of this recording, I still wasn't using the unlock sector focus. I learned to use it only later when I actually started playing with the carronades, because I guess then it matters a bit more, I would say. So yeah, I'm also here trying to take down some of the sails, and yeah, as of recently when I started playing again, I don't recall I managed to dismast the ship, although I heard it happens pretty frequently. I guess when you get to bigger ships that have more cannons, then there is a higher probability that you will actually dismast something. Okay, fire! If you didn't know, this Renome actually has, I believe, also 9-pounder cannons, so despite it being a 5th rate and a frigate, it doesn't have stronger armament than I do. It just has more of it. Which I guess when you're playing with the 5th rate, I mean, caliber is a little bit of a problem here, but I would say it takes also longer to reload, so sometimes not having the highest caliber guns also can actually be a good thing. Okay, I'm now aiming for straight up broadside and fire. Okay, I'm typically holding on rolling front fire mode just because it gives me control of how I deliver it. There are some occasions where you want to go with like rolling back fire mode or something, but then again, I don't know. So, what else is to be said about Niagara? Yeah, I mean, Niagara, it's suitable only for a unique playstyle where you actually favor speed, and so you want to basically reload your guns, get in as close as possible, and get out when you're actually playing with carronades. With the longer cannons, I mean, you can try and take it from a distance, but I found it to be a little bit tedious. And here you can see me now going into a turning contest with a Renome, and it's not a good idea because I'm exposing my broadside, which is vulnerable, and that's not something that I typically want to do. But given that it has such low armor already, so it's almost nearly dead, I figured, what the hell, I might as well risk getting a broadside or two. Although the real captains would never do such a thing. And I also had some chain, so I figured to also kill its sails a little bit more. I had chain on the port side and the ball on the starboard, so I now changed to ball ammunition and hopefully going in to finish the job. I have one leak, so it's not really that dangerous. I've decided to rather try and have my crews focusing on gunnery and just basically take down the Renommee's armor as much as possible. So some cannonballs missing towards the rear of the ship, but yeah. So as you can see, I'm happily stern camping it, or not really stern camping this one, but I'm trying to stern camping it anyway. Okay, fire. Few raking shots, because those are always appreciated. And then 5 more to the starboard side. And once again, tack the sails, turn, and we go for another pass. I'm actually hoping this battle will come to a quick resolution, because I already see the Renommee is sitting a little bit lower in the water. Not completely low though, but soon enough, I hope. Yet another successful broadside. Okay. Aim and fire. And now I believe I have completely taken its port and starboard side. So now it's just a matter of time when she gets enough leaks and sinks. Yeah, so if you're interested more in terms of how do all 6 rates compare against each other, I've already posted that video. This is more about Niagara. There will be another, I believe, on Mercury, unless it has already published by the time this video airs, and then I will be going more into the 5th rates. I think now just collecting the experience and the cash to actually be able to buy them. I already have, I believe, Renommee and Cerberus and Belpool. Okay, battle done. Well, I guess, guys, this does it for the episode. Thank you for the episode. Like if you like, and hit subscribe for more naval action content that is coming soon. Thank you again for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.